everyone. How are we doing today? My name is Lunar, and today I will be speedrunning LEGO Horizon Adventures any percent. So we're going to go ahead and get right started. The time will begin whenever I select my difficulty. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So we start out with a cutscene that we're just going to go ahead and skip because it's faster, and there's, as in some LEGO games, you may have heard of No Cut, which allows you to skip cutscenes. Doesn't really exist in this game, it's just kind of built in, so we skip all the cutscenes for any percent because it's faster. And you can see there's also these little conversations that they have. We can go ahead and skip those too.
First chance to ask Tirsa about her mother.
So we're going to get into our first kind of skip, I suppose. It's called Prologue Jump. We're going to go around this icicle. The hitboxes in this game are very weird. And then we're going to skip right on down this little very slow section of grabby bars, I guess. So this is just the prologue of the game. Pretty standard stuff, not a lot happening. We do some good movement, trying to get up.
Here comes Aloy! Ta-da!
So here's where we introduce, the training part of the game. So this is an interesting little thing. I'm actually using my mouse here to aim because it allows me to switch directions faster than if I was just using my controller. And the way this game is coded, it's actually, you can switch between device inputs very easly, so it doesn't feature anywhere else in the run, but it's a cool little skip that we do in Prologue to save just a little bit of time and make it a little bit easier. So now we get introduced to the focus, and what this does is every time I press the left trigger, I can, it scans for enemies' weak points, which is what allows you to do more damage, and then also shows you where the enemies are. And as you can see, I had a quick little tutorial fight real quick. I burn off these leaves off this area. And we go right along to the first battle of the day. Here, we have our first machine. As you can see, I'm going to scan with my focus. And then it's just going to kind of run into this rock right here.
Do you see me out there?
So this game is timed and load removed. So there's going to be some load removed only strats, such as quitting to menu and resuming game every time that we end a level. Because what this does, it allows us to skip a little. I would say cutscene. It's more like a camera pan though, because it's unskippable, and it just takes up more time. So while that does increase the RTA time a little bit, yes, because the loads in this game are pretty horrendous. We're looking at like 10 to 15 minutes of loads per game. It does reduce our load remove time, which is how the leaderboards are timed in. And if you saw right there, I did a quick little jump to skip having to go around the all tree.
I can't believe cultists.
Mind if I jump in for a couple of donations quickly?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, we have already had 2 donations so far. We've had $25 from Johnny the Agent, and then another $30 from Andrew, which means we have already reached the goal of $10,000 total raised throughout all our LEGOthon events combined. Absolutely fantastic milestone for the community to reach, and to reach it so early on is fantastic. Remember, when you send these donations, you can also put a message in them to be read out by me or whoever the host is on the stream. And you can also put them towards our list of incentives. If you type !incentives in the chat, you should be able to see the list of incentives and bid wars that we have going for us this year. But anyway, back to you, Luna.
Alrighty. So as you can see, these early fights are relatively easy to do. Obviously as the game progresses, the fights get more complex, and so do the strats, but these early ones are pretty simple. Nothing too crazy happening. So here's our first introduction to what this first little land, I guess, is about. So we're in one of 4 different, I would call locations, I guess. They're not exactly worlds like some other places, like some other LEGO games. But we're in what's called the Sacred Lands right now, and the goal of the Sacred Lands is to rescue the Nora villagers that have been trapped and caught by the evil Lord Helis. If you guys are familiar with, I don't exactly, one of the Horizon games, I apologize, I don't know which one. This is a pretty good story. Oh, whoops, that's not.
Our savior.
So as you can see, we just saved the first little batch. And then there's the save and quit strats again. We're actually going to do that twice, because what comes up next is a little mini cutscene showing how they built the tailoring shop, which allows you to change your LEGO character in these games. But for any percent, that's not necessary, so we just go ahead and skip right on past that. And here is the little jump I was talking about earlier. It allows you to skip going all the way around to reach it, saving, I think, about 5 to 10 seconds on average. So we're going to hop right into the 3rd level of the game.
Frost.
So you're going to see me periodically scanning with my focus, just to let me know where the enemies are, what enemies I need to kill. The nice thing about the focus is it only highlights enemies that you actually need to kill in order to progress into the game. So when we get into some more complex levels, sometimes there's enemies that we just don't need to deal with, and we can skip right on by. And the focus will help me figure out which ones those are. And now we're introduced to gadgets. Now these gadgets allow you to give little power-ups or abilities. This one in particular is called Blast Boots, and it's basically just a double jump, but it also sprays a lot of fire underneath you. So it's a very good tool to deal lots of damage quickly, as well as a good movement tool. So you see me grabbing these barrels here to hit these far guys. And now we get into one of the first little level design choices that they made. So throughout the game, there's periodically a tall neck route,
There it is
as you
again.
can see by this
I wonder where it's going.
large tall neck that's right up on the side of me. And it's usually faster to go for that instead of the opportunity, which is just to go through a battle. And you can see how the blast boots are useful for a little bit of movement.
Gold bricks could rebuild a village like Mother's Heart. Just don't ask me why. It's just one of those things.
Luckily enough for these levels, the movement's not as important, because as long as we get to the ending before the tall neck does, we save time.
It never gets old. Aw, over already.
Hey, someone's sneaking around.
So I'm using these pretty liberally, and that's because this is a pretty short segment, so I don't need to worry about saving my gadgets or anything. And the level does end right after this.
The view must be amazing from up there.
So now we're into the second room.
Toilet time!
And here we have this nice little skip over here. We can just hop and skip this really slow bar section.
Watch out below.
And here we go. As you can see, the tall neck is not yet at the ending yet. So we're just gonna chill here for a little bit and wait for him to catch up to us. And then we can hop on his head and grab that gold brick. We're gonna save and quit one more time. And start heading into the next level. These early levels aren't really that interesting.
My focus is activating.
They're pretty chill. But here we get introduced to the villain Helis of the story.
Aloy normally loves surprises, but this one sounded bad.
And Helis is the leader of the sun-loving cult. And it's in their name. They love the sun. So much so that they want to destroy all the trees and all the wilderness and replace it with desert. So the goal of the game is to find Helis and beat him. Here we get introduced to our next little machine. And as you can see,
Razor.
I'm just going to take these out pretty easily.
Hot shot.
So some machines have a chance to spawn gadgets,
Cooking.
as you saw right there.
I better not leave things unfinished.
Best thing about being
Alrighty. So in these early levels especially, there's a lot more cultists than there are machines. But as we move into more of the later game, it becomes a lot more about the machines.
Let's see if I can beat my high jump personal best.
So here I can just deal lots of damage to that guy and move on to the
Got
next
stuff to
thing.
do here. Another weird ancient thing.
So we're going to throw the fish for good luck. That originated from, I think, the first 80% run. It just kind of kept up as we're going. So here, we're going to not grab the gadget
Stuff in here.
because it's not as good as having the blast boots that we know that we're going to get. So and sometimes you'll see me doing that. Some gadgets are just better than others the way that they're designed or whatever. So what was just introduced was called the hot dog cart. And basically, it spawns a bunch of
Now to clear the
flaming, exploding hot dogs. And you may think that sounds pretty good, but they're just kind of random,
I'll pick it up later.
and more often than not, they hit you instead of any of the machines that you're trying to hurt. So it's better to have something that you can control and be able to aim. And that just makes these levels a little bit more consistent.
Hope you like it
And
hot.
as you can see, I'm using my blast boots
Got it.
to clear out these machines pretty quickly.
Cool. Burn, baby, burn. Oh, yeah. Love it when they go boom. Deadly shot. Another machine down.
You can do it.
No, that's not.
I knew someone would come.
There we go. I'm gonna go and save and quit one more time. And again, while this does increase our RTA time by quite a bit, this reduces our load remove time significantly, so it's worth it for the 80% run. Oh. The movement in this game is quite strange. There's not a good way to describe it, but it takes some getting used to. So, if you see me flangling about a little bit, that's just the way the game works, unfortunately.
You hungry? I made.
So just good moving up those stairs. And we get introduced to our next machine.
Keen eyes and deadly glowy orb things.
These guys are really easy. It only takes one shot to kill them right in the head.
Weak spots?
So these are never really too much of an issue. And you'll see I'm going to wait until they turn towards me to shoot them, because it's much better to shoot them once in the eye than a bunch of times in the body.
Another weird ancient thing.
Or not game.
Perfect dismount.
So here we get these bow shooting cultists here. And these guys are a little annoying because they take 2 shots from Aloy to be able to kill them. And when there's a lot of them, as there usually are, it can get kind of overwhelming.
Hello again.
Woohoo! New toy!
And here we get introduced to our next thing, the weapons power-ups. So periodically throughout the game, you're going to get introduced to new weapons, and each of these weapons have their own little power-ups. This one is called the spread shot bow.
I must have gotten caught.
It basically does what the name implies.
Way down.
It spreads out a bunch of arrows. But whenever shooting machines, it's usually better not to do this. As you can see, I'll switch to the spread shot bow now to take care of these little cultists.
One'll hit the mark. That glowing spot is.
But whenever I'm taking care of these watchers here, it's easier just to shoot them once with a normal bow. Or in this case, I'm going to go ahead and shoot them with the spread shot bow just because I can get a really good
Keep wheeling on it.
spread.
Around that watch. Got it.
The name of the game here is area of effect damage. Just trying to
Thanks,
deal
Aloy.
as much damage as we can. That was the last time ever having to do a double save and quit. Luckily, the village of Mother's Heart is nice and rebuilt now, so we don't need to worry about any more unskippable cutscenes. Now in this level we get introduced
See?
to our first new character, 1 out of 4. And this guy's name is Varl. He has a spear that has a lot of pierce, and it's really good for dealing with a lot of machines at once. So we're going to take him all the way until we get the last character. And then here we get introduced to I would compare these to like the castle levels in Super Mario, if you know what those are.
Be brave, Varl.
These are called cauldrons. They're basically platformers with lots of enemies.
Those sparks sure look like a safety hazard.
So the name of the game here is Movement.
Maybe I can wake it.
We're going to try to get as much movement as we can. We're going to try to lure this broadhead here into attacking me.
Who got ya? This guy.
So whenever I see a gadget, I'm going to just get the gadget. It's better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. So some of the little gates here are unlocked by what you saw earlier, which was the little key, and some are unlocked by killing enemies.
I should avoid those horns.
Now I don't need to kill these enemies actually, because they're not locked to anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip them, because I don't need to hurt them.
Want some more?
And it would save time not to. So then we're going to take care of these guys over here. I'm going to grab these blast boots right here. I'll light these two guys on fire while I take care of this guy over here.
This place is so strange.
You'll see me periodically scanning with my focus, just to make sure that I know where I am and I know where the enemies are. Here we get into like the platforming sections.
Those sparks give my spear a little extra zing. Got it. Stay down and rust.
Oh, now we get a charge. There we go. Alrighty. That's about all she wrote for the first cauldron.
Delighted to see so many people celebrating their return to Mother's Heart. Truly, it was time to party.
Sweet treasure.
And as Russ says, it is time to party as we almost finish our first little location. And the amount of gold bricks that we collect corresponds to the amount of upgrades that we can have. Now for the 80% route, there's only 2 upgrades that matter, and those are unlocked at 10 gold bricks. So we're going to not worry about that for a little bit. And we get into, well, into our next location. That's when we can start. That's when we can go ahead and upgrade our
Red
weapons.
monster you saw.
Varl seems to really like that bar. The bars in this game are very strange. You only maneuver them with the joystick.
Scrappers. They're
So it makes it very difficult to be able to reliably always hop to the next bar in time. Because sometimes the angles and the way the camera works in this game is pretty strange. We get introduced to our next machine right here. We're going to go ahead and take them out.
That's what happens to evil machines. Got it. Check
I'm gonna
out
grab
my
those blast boots right there.
rust. Ooh, should have brought my swimming trunks.
Well, it would be nice if the gadget drops were all standardized. Unfortunately, they're all random. So we can save time in some places and not with others, depending on what gadgets we get.
Yes. Time. This must be
Here we get a lot of different options. We're going to go ahead and grab the left and the right, because for all of the chests in this beginning location, they're all completely, they're hard-coded into the game. So we're able to tell which chests we need to get. So here with me, I have probably what's the best weapon for Varl, the Boomerang Spear. And the Boomerang Spear does what its name suggests. It's a boomerang. So it's really good for dealing lots of damage quickly. And then I also have the little piece separator from Lego, which is also very good for dealing damage quickly. And as you can see, this combination just absolutely shreds through machines. The Boomerang Spear especially is very good for dealing damage to a lot of machines at once. Makes it good for a lot of the levels. Until we get into the next hero that we're going to choose.
Mind if I hit you with some more donations?
Be my guest.
Okay, good. We've got a few come through, so this might take a bit.
Oh my.
But we'll start off. We got $10 from Alt Mega, saying super hype for the marathon. Need hamster to buy Peter Jackson. So that has gone towards the Lego The Hobbit buy Peter Jackson incentive. And then we got another $15 from Johnny the Agent, donating that money to kill the goons in, I believe that's in the very next run in, yeah, in, is it in the next run? No, it isn't. It's in the Lego Batman DS run, which is on Saturday as well. And then also a question, do you guys rather prefer original storylines or faithful recreation of existing material in Lego games?
Okay, let's get
For me, I tend to prefer the faithful recreations as they were done right at the beginning, kind of the grunt games. I think the way that those games are reimagined is very fun. I don't know what you think about that, Lunar.
I would agree with you, Pax. So I think that the grunt games especially are some of the most fun, and I think they are because they're very faithful and they add a lot of levels to the game. So I enjoy them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We got $5 from Greedy Old Car saying, sending love and good luck from the Horizon speedrun community. Best of luck, Lunar.
Thank you guys very much.
And then finally we got $26 from Hein, which is going towards saving the goons in Lego Batman DS. As a reminder for the incentives we have coming up very soon, so you have until the end of this run to try and raise the $50 for cosmetic extras for the Lego Batman incentive for Hamsters All Hostages run, which will be after this. And then we have 2 different bid wars going on for Lego Stunt Rally to choose your character out of Chip, Lucky, Wrench, and Barney. And then also for Football Mania to choose either Redbeard or Captain Click as your starting characters. So those ones are needing to be filled relatively soon, but of course we still do have some more for later in the marathon. But with that, we'll go back to you, Luna.
Thank you very much. Alrighty, this game moves pretty fast, so we missed. There's quite a lot happened while we were reading out donations. We finished the final boss of the first game, or the first location, excuse me. And then we moved into the next location, which is called the Snowchant Mountains. The goal of this location is to find and locate the dreaded Thunderjaw. So you can see the goal of each level is to mainly find a little location for a tower and build that tower so that we can triangulate his location. We did also get introduced to our next hero, Teresa, who's an area of effect bomb throwing hero. Unfortunately, she's not very good for the 80% route, just based on the fact that she can't target damage very well. So we're going to go ahead and stick with Varl here. And as you can see, that's our first tower location.
Hey, I didn't fall.
So we're going to hop right over.
Am I still in one piece?
I'm going to go and freeze these enemies here because it increases their damage by quite a bit.
Oh, the superhero.
So it's better to freeze them and then shoot them instead of just freezing them first.
Icy blast. Hope they got insurance.
And as you can see, this game also has
Feel the chill.
environmental hazards as well. So if I freeze close to this whole pond is frozen, and any machines that wander nearby are also going to be frozen.
Focus says hit the shiny spots.
So I'm just going to do the same strategy, trying our best to freeze as many machines as I can,
I saw that, right?
and then take them out.
Nah, one less machine.
There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and build our first tower.
Well, that's the first time.
Freeze.
And then grab that gold brick.
There you are. I've been...
And we're just going to exit out of that because it saves more time than a save and quit, because you're allowed to start about halfway up the mountain.
Echoing through the mountains. Intriguing, no?
The more areas we can open, the better. I thought Tirsa would go back to running the...
If the thunder jump...
Ah, yes. The Great Machine Mystery. Halo?
The story here is very disconnected because we're skipping very large parts of it, which is a little unfortunate because this game has a pretty interesting story overall. So I'd highly recommend that you check that out if you want to.
Out of my way! One less machine! Ha! Blam!
I got frozen right there, which is something that can happen if I'm not careful.
Nice hit!
The watchers here, instead of shooting electricity or anything else, shoot frozen beams, which can get a little annoying, especially when there's a lot of them. So ledges in this game are pretty slow, so whenever possible, we're just going to try to skip them.
Pass it along. Could be a new release.
So we're going to go and grab this freeze spear because, again, frozen enemies are more damage susceptible. So we can increase our DPS by freezing them.
Freeze!
So I'm going to take these blast boots right here.
Just look how tall I am!
Go ahead and freeze all these guys.
Check out my new... Want some more?
And then occasionally in these little areas, you'll see these little
Everybody good at this!
gadget receptacles here. And that allows me to get any gadgets that I want. So it's very good for this game. Or for the battles, I mean.
Yeah! Nothing but scrap now.
Because it allows us to gear up very quickly. And stay geared up throughout the fight. So we can use our gadgets liberally.
Well, haven't heard any loud. Hey, cool.
So unfortunately there's no tower location here, so we're just going to go ahead and skip right to the end. Grab that gold brick and move on to the next level.
Settling in okay, Silence?
And that guy right there, his name is Silence. We can't play as him, but he's going to help us
Miss that food hall.
move on into the he's going to help us find this last Thunderjaw. So I'm just going to head back up the mountain. To enter the level, you normally have to be spamming Y, but since these guys are right here, if I spam Y, I pick them up, so I have to wait just a little bit longer.
Hey, Silence.
That was a really nice load right there. Taking quite a while. If any of you are curious, we're about 7 minutes behind our load remove time right now. Or, I'm sorry, 7 minutes ahead RTA. Because these loads in this game are quite bad. So as you can see, here's a level that's just cultists. Now these guys have barrels. And I need to be very careful here, because if I kill them too close to me, they will explode, and their barrels will hit me too. So it's especially bad in this location, because of the freeze, which just takes up extra time.
embarrassing.
And if you fall too much from a great height, you kind of land on your face like that, which is a little unfortunate. It loses a little bit of time.
This is new. Someone will enjoy it.
Have I got time to squeeze in one more donation?
Alrighty.
Fantastic. We have $20 from our very own core, which is going towards the Football Mania donating for Redbeard with the message, Captain Redbeard, my goat. Yeah, thank you very much for that call. That means Redbeard is currently leading that bid war. But yeah, any donations can go towards that or any of our other incentives.
All the superhero. Got you that time.
The nice thing about Varl is that his piercing spear allows you to kill those arrow guys that I said were annoying earlier with Aloy. They're not a problem with Varl anymore, which is very nice.
Stronger already.
So we're just going to keep going. And you may see throughout most of the levels that there looks like there's like alternate paths over there. And a lot of times those alternate paths will be marked with silver studs. Those are just for stud collection. They don't allow you to progress any faster. So we just skip all of them.
Whoa, must be from the old world. Get him! Barrel's gonna blow! How's that? Smack!
Oh, you are still frozen. See, here's where we get into the main problem with all these barrel guys, is because they have a very large area effect and they love to aim exactly where you don't want them to be.
A site that meets the necessary altitude criterion. That's science talk for it's high enough.
And here's our next tower location,
Huh. I think I'm getting the hang of these.
right here. So we're gonna go and grab that gold brick. Move on.
Time for one more donation.
Go right ahead.
Fantastic. We have a combined $34 from Loz over 2 messages. Loz, being our former series mod and a long-standing member of the community, has said, "First time not running or commentating in over 5 years. Makes me wonder, but why is the run gone?" So, very good message from Loz. And then his second donation says, "Forgot to add good luck to everyone." So thank you very much for that, Loz. And yeah, we've got already raised over $250 and still climbing, so keep the donations coming.
Oh, you guys are doing a very good job.
How I've missed.
And now as the fights begin to get more complex, there's less routing involved and a lot more adapting and improvising. So here we get introduced to our next machine, the Shell Walker. These guys are very annoying. They have this huge shield in front of them, and they really don't like to let you attack them. And they also have more attacks.
Superhero.
So I'm basically just going to brute force this guy.
You guys saw that, right?
In some rare cases, you can hit his shield hand like that before and disable him.
Got it.
But it usually can't happen.
I'm getting good at this.
Just because they activate their shield very quickly. So those guys are quite annoying to deal with, but manageable, especially if the boomerang spear, which allows you just to pierce straight through the shield.
You found me. It's your luck. Don't mind if I do.
So here we get our next gadget, the rush boots. And these allow you to zoom quickly. So whenever we get them, we're just going to use them as quick as possible. They always save time.
Nice hit. Got
So what I'm doing, I'm going to save my gadget for the shell walkers that I know are coming up. Like this guy right here, who I can freeze and then deal a lot of damage to quickly. And you'll see me do that periodically throughout the run. Just kind of saving some of my gadgets. As you can see, this is when the boomerang spear comes in really handy. We can deal a lot of damage to a lot of things very quickly.
Uh-oh.
So you're the one behind that machine.
Though Aaron seemed simple and showed no appreciation for an elegantly woven backstory, Aloy welcomed him to the gang.
And then we get introduced to our next hero, Erend. He's what we're going to be using for most of the run. We don't really unlock him until a little bit later.
Good to be back.
But luckily for Aloy, she had someone else who
And you can see when the rush boots come in handy. Just kind of zooming up that little sidewalk here. So now that we have enough gold bricks, we're going to go ahead and upgrade for the first time. And what we're going to do is there's two upgrades that we want. We want one that gives us a rare weapon at the beginning of every game, and one that gives us a rare gadget at the beginning of every game. So we're going to go ahead and do that here. As you can see, we're going to start with a random gadget. And that just adds another level to randomness to the run. Well, it is a little bit unfortunate that it's not predetermined. In a lot of cases, an extra gadget can't hurt, and it just improves. It makes us go a little bit faster. So we're still looking for that thunder
I
drop.
wonder if Silence would like to join our Thursday night drama club.
So let me get this straight. We need to find.
And then we're going to go ahead and switch with Inwind. And as you can see, we start with a random gadget, in this case rush boots, which allows us to go just a little bit faster.
Only a few uses left.
So I'm going to use them up as quick as I can because they're not good for fights. So if a machine drops a gadget that I'd want, this is a good place to use them. So here's the main ability with Inwind. He has his large hammer attack, which is very good for dealing with a lot of things at once, because it allows you to hit multiple enemies at the same time. Grab those rush boots. That was a little weird right there. Oh. And then we just got frozen by this little pond right here.
This
That's
thing's
okay.
almost out of juice. New toys.
What a surprise.
I love shopping.
So we're going to grab the earthquake hammer here. And this hammer is very, very good for dealing with a lot of enemies at once. I'll show you what it does in just 1 second.
Everything looks so small from up here.
So I'm going to go ahead and pick this guy up and throw him into there to deal a little bit more damage. And here we have the earthquake hammer, which is pretty good in my mind.
Time to get my hands dirty.
It allows you to deal a lot of damage very quickly. So that's the main attack that we're going to be using with Erend over here. And especially for large creatures like that, it deals a lot of damage.
Didn't it? Smashed it good.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have a very good effect
Another tower
when you're just doing single attacks.
Towers up, Silence.
Excellent.
So right there we got our very last tower. And now we're going to move in to the next cauldron level. Now this one's a little bit harder. I believe it's the longest split in any percent.
Don't keep us in sus.
It has a lot of movement tech. So we're just going to kind of work our way through it best as we can.
Perhaps this cavern is what I've...
So here we get the next cauldron.
That's the place. Although it seems to be rather more than just a cavern, you'll find the Thunderjaw somewhere inside.
And as Silent just says, we're going to find that Thunderjaw that we've been looking for inside this cauldron.
This seems like somewhere we're meant to be. Remember, just because
So we can just skip over this little electricity field here. Because this game is on the easiest difficulty. We don't need to really worry about damage too much.
Yes.
So we're going to grab this barrel and flick it into that little receptacle right there. And that allows us to open the door. So we're going to jump right over there. And here we get these occasional bridges that we need to build, which are a little annoying because, as you can see, it slows you down.
Gotta get the power going.
But most of the cauldrons, they have weird angles like that one. You're meant to go down all the way. But we can just hit it from the top, and that saves a little bit of time.
So machines are born in factories. Whoa. Yeah.
Well, that's a new one. I'll admit, I've never had that happen to me before. So as you can see on the focus, this guy is not highlighted. So we can just go ahead and skip him. And then shoot our receptacle over there to open this door.
Can I throw in another donation quickly?
Go right ahead.
Alright, fantastic. Because we have met already the incentive for the LEGO Batman 1 cosmetics extras fulfilled in its entirety by our very own BDIP. The message reads, funding the full cost of LEGO Batman 1 cosmetic extras. Good luck to everyone and thanks to the team for all their effort. And thank you so much, BDIP, for single-handedly funding that entire incentive. But yeah, back to you, Lunar.
Alrighty. So this one's quite a weird angle. The receptacle's kind of hidden down there. Oh, and we missed that one. The game doesn't really want you to do this, but I don't remember asking the game what it wants. So we're going to move up here. That looks like a door, but it's actually not. The path is actually to go over here. We're going to go ahead and hit that very difficult jump. We're going to ride this platform all the way up. The jump isn't too bad, it's just a little annoying. Because it's pretty hard to control your movement in the air in this game. So then we're going to...
I got
Jumped a
dirt
little
in
too
my
late there.
mustache.
We're going to jump right over here. Grab this receptacle. Why, thank you, game. And that turns on these little platforms right here. So we can go ahead and just hop on. Ride the way up. And move on over here. So there is some machines waiting for us, but we don't need to hurt them. We can just move right along. Unfortunately, because that guy was in my way, I couldn't take this early cycle right here. But I should be able to make this one just fine. So I'm going to grab the receptacle and toss it into there. Now we're into the boss fight of the second location, the Thunderjaw. So this boss fight consists of two phases. The first phase right here. We're just going to grab these grab these shot canisters and toss them into these little turrets right here.
Oh, Gadget, I'm gonna hate to see you go.
And that allows us to deal damage to the Thunder Jaw relatively quickly. These do have a cooldown though, and the Thunderjaw can attack you. And that's the first phase complete. Now we're on to the next phase. And the goal of this phase, we're just going to knock out his legs. And then deal damage in the middle. And then we just do that one more time. Whenever his legs are highlighted, that's when you know that you can go ahead and hit him.
Almost there.
Oh, so close. On the game's easiest difficulty, you pretty much shred through all the boss fights.
I mean,
You could deal a lot of damage very quickly. And that's the Thunderjaw down.
Hello again.
And now we unlock our next location,
You got the first.
the Jewel Rainforest.
I think Aaron's making donuts in the food hall now. They're so good.
So this location's special little attacks are all electricity themed, which aren't that bad. They're pretty easily avoidable and the electricity doesn't do much to you.
Feels good to have
That was a nice load right there.
See, I'm light as a feather.
There's also these traps here
Breaking stuff.
that if you run into, they'll do spikes like that. And here's where Aaron can really be helpful. I can hit both of these people at once. And then I can grab these blast boots and use them to do a little bit of movement tech. A lot of this game is improvisation, which makes it a pretty fun speed game, but not very consistent. And as you can see, here we got some cultists. The bad thing with Aaron is that if you don't pick up the cultist guys, you can trigger them and they can explode you. Luckily, if you hit them right outside their range, like that, you can just barely not. And there's little turret guys that occasionally come in. So I'm going to pick up that and throw that guy over there. And that guy's... I guess that guy's just invincible.
I wanna go higher.
So as you can see, I have quite a lot of health, and I haven't been taking a lot of damage.
The peculiar traitor with his friendly
When you're on the
names
easiest
and
difficulty,
phrases
it's not too
found
bad.
his way even here, deep in the
And it's relatively easy.
as if
You
some
can do no death runs pretty much every time. Here we get introduced to our next little gadget, the gravity bomb. This one's pretty good, especially for area of effect areas. And the goal of the Jewel Rainforest, of course, is to find and build our very own sawtooth. So as you can see, there's going to be some sawtooth parts over here that we're going to try to protect. And I'm not going to hit this guy because I don't want to explode myself. So what we can do right here is we can go and throw a gravity bomb. And that does quite a lot of damage to these broadheads over here.
I never get tired of bashing machines. Got another one. Smashed it good. There's
So we're gonna search through a little sawtooth part.
What do you think, Silence? That
We managed to find it, so we're gonna grab that gold brick. Save and quit.
Not sure if I love or
If you want to handle my comic collection, you need to wear gloves.
Gift that keeps on giving.
So as you can see, we do have quite a lot of studs now. Unfortunately, there are no more upgrades for us to get. So studs are basically worthless now. This game does deviate from the traditional LEGO formula of 10, 100, 1000, and 10,000. Instead, the bronze studs are worth 1, and the silver studs are worth 5, and the gold studs I think are worth 10.
I keep thinking about all those trees we.
Grab her shot.
Got a little stuck there.
Crazy thing's supposed to be from.
I'm gonna climb up those ledges. Move on.
Well, no.
So we get a little insight into what Helis Helis's life looks like. Unfortunately, we are just gonna go ahead and move on because we don't need to watch that. So
As
we're
they
gonna
headed
keep going.
back home, the gang spotted the unmistakable towering shape of a tall neck.
Here we have our next tall
Don't
neck
really
route.
remember whether they tried to reach its flat head or make.
So we're gonna take that because it's a lot faster and a lot more consistent
Glad I don't have to fight that one.
than going through
Climbing it, though.
a long battle. Because the battle route has many, many waves, lots of enemies. So we're just gonna keep going.
There's got to be the standing around for hours and hours. Yeah, I always love to stand.
I found one! Gonna make Helis proud!
Yeah, so we can just go ahead and skip all those enemies. We don't need to slow down to hurt them. We can just move right along.
Look out below!
I should have listened to my mother. She always said I'd end up. Hey, you! Get out of here!
The only guys that can really make a difference are those barrel throwing dudes. If they throw a barrel at the wrong time, it can be a little bit annoying. But the tall neck routes are usually pretty consistent overall. And that's just more of this game's jank. Sometimes you hit the bars, sometimes you don't. But that's alright because moving in this room is not as important. As long as we get to the bars before the tall neck does.
Intruder alert!
This guy can be kind of annoying. He can shoot you at the wrong time. But most of the time, you just leave him alone and he won't do anything.
Up we go! Whoa!
So now we're going to get our last upgrade. And just like we got the first upgrade where we can start with a random gadget,
Clear to Aloy.
this one allows us to start with a random weapon.
Was overrun with machines.
And again,
She prepared to
sometimes it
head
can help
back
us,
into the perilous jungle
sometimes it doesn't
with
make a
an
difference.
Even greater sense of purpose.
But
So you can imagine how
better
much
just to
purpose
roll that
one
RNG than anything else.
Remember when we had a whole area devoted to parties? The village used to be fun.
Aaron,
As Silence failed to grasp the subtlety with which I've woven our story's themes,
Everything looks so small from up here.
So as you can see, I saved my gadget to deal with these cultists with the regular hammer, just because it's a little bit easier to just take care of these guys with the wide swinging hammer, because in this case I have the earthquake hammer. And that's just another one of those things about this game. You just have to be able to improvise and make good decisions.
Where's that crazy thing supposed to be from?
So what we can do is we can just skip this little above part right here, just hop right on over. And in this case, I'll go ahead and use my gadget. This is the hot dog card I was talking about earlier.
People say I'm dead. Hurts, doesn't it? Ah. Try and keep up. Oh, Gadget, I'm gonna hate to see you go.
So that fight was a pretty good indicator of what the fights are to come. They're pretty chaotic. A lot of times you just get hit. It just happens. But we can usually take care of the enemies relatively quickly. So we don't need to worry about it too bad. I'm going to grab this barrel right here.
These are some fire kicks.
Excuse me, sir.
Ah, yeah.
You're in my way. Alrighty. So the nice thing about the fire is that I know that that machine was going to be taken out. Fire is pretty powerful in this game. It allows you to deal a lot of damage very quickly, as you can see. So you ever get the next Shell Walker? This guy's a little annoying, but here's where the fire comes in handy again, doing lots and lots of damage.
This part looks as good as new. Oh, someone's calling on the focus.
It is I.
Varl was shaken by Helis's words. Like any good villain, he'd pinpointed the boy's greatest fear. That he wasn't a real hero at all.
As you can see, this is another part where the story just doesn't really work when you skip all the cutscenes. Helis there was trying to break apart our intrepid gang of explorers. But with skipping the cutscene, it doesn't make any sense, and you're left very confused.
So, Aaron, how exactly?
Although there was
And here we
no
go
sign
to our
of
next
machine
cauldron level.
guards, or even Aaron's mythical donut horde, the gang did come across a cauldron. An ancient
The gadget
factory
here
where
is pretty
machines
useful.
were built. The only path forward
Because it's called a tripcaster. Now what this does is it's basically a tripwire, but it sends an electric shock. And if you remember from earlier,
Somewhere we're meant to be.
the electric
Remember,
excuse me, the electric
is fun,
barrels
doesn't
right
mean
here
it's a toy.
allow us to trigger platforms to move on.
Terminal. These machines not pay
And
the power bill?
if we're careful and if we plan it out correctly, we can use the tripcaster.
A perilous drop. Lucky I know how to build a bridge.
To activate the terminal when we're not supposed to. So we need to kill any of these machines. I'm just gonna move straight along. I'm gonna go up here. Hop right here. So here's where we're gonna go ahead and set the tripcaster. We're gonna try to lure this.
That'll keep 'em down.
Oh, fortunately I missed.
Yeah, that was a weird dream.
Unfortunately, like a lot of things in this game, it is random whether you hit it or not. So that does mean we're gonna lose a little bit of time. I'm trying to go back. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and grab that because that machine just does not want to cooperate at all. So we're gonna grab the electricity thing from up here. Ah, there we go. See, in our absence, he activated that terminal for us, so now we only have one more to activate, which normally saves a little bit of time, but unfortunately he wasn't cooperating, so no time saved today. And here again, we're just gonna ignore the electricity part and just move right along.
Good hit. Nothing but rubble.
That's where the flame hammer can really come in handy. As you can see, we basically shredded through those enemies. Now this guy we don't need to attack, but he can get a little annoying because he can shock you while we're waiting here. Sometimes you can get knocked off. So we're just gonna move right along here.
Run if they This time's the charm.
Thank you very much.
A beautiful break. I never get tired of bashing machines.
So we're gonna refill in the flame hammer. Move right along. So now we're just gonna go ahead and ride these blocks right along over to this section.
I should aim for that weak spot.
I'm gonna grab this receptacle here. We need to worry about anybody else.
The heroes emerge from the cauldron back in the rainforest, conveniently close to where they needed to be.
So here we get another boss fight. These boss fights are pretty easy. As you can see, I'm doing quite a lot of damage to this guy. And especially with the earthquake hammer, I just kind of shred through his health.
Traps. Sneak it.
Hey, check out this.
So we're going to keep on going here.
Gift that keeps on giving.
Do you think we'll ever get the music stage back?
These levels are pretty short, which is nice.
Okay, gang. Just one more.
Despite Aloy's kind words, Varl yearned for a chance to prove his heroism.
I found one! Gotta make Helis proud!
here's where we can deal a lot of cultists very quickly thanks to Aaron's reach.
Still got stuff to do. Another strange remnant from the old world.
So I'm going to put down my gadget and hope that it helps a little bit.
Is on more for the scratch. Later, I'll have my enemy well done. Nothing but rubble.
We have a lot of gadgets to cooch from, but I'm going to stick with the flame hammer. There's not really a right decision whenever it comes to gadgets and weapons. There's good synergies, of course. But it's kind of whatever you're feeling. And maybe just a little bit of personal choice as well.
Gravity check. Ah. You're done. Ah.
So we can take care of that wave pretty quickly.
Turning up the heat. Ah. There's more where that came from. Scrap.
Just brute force that last guy.
Scanners showed
Okay, that's the last piece.
So we went ahead and we made our... I'm sorry, I forgot what that's called. A sawtooth, that's right. So we go and we made our sawtooth. And now, here comes Helis' boss.
Really mad.
Ooh.
I like the one we built
Helis is not the guy in charge? No, unfortunately he's not.
It's down for now.
This guy's called the Buried Shadow, and he's the guy actually in charge. As you can see, we took out his sawtooth relatively quickly, without much trouble. We're not too worried about it.
Experiencing technical.
We're gonna grab that gold brick and move on to our next location. This location is our final location. It's called the Sunfall Desert, and you're never gonna guess what the location is. That's right, it's a desert. I know, very, very deceptive. Well, we get this little dance pad area unlocked, but that's more for fun. So for the 80% route, we're just going to keep on keeping on. And I'm going to do a load check right now. The RTA is 12 minutes ahead of the LRT. That is 12 minutes of loads in 1 hour, which is quite a bit, especially compared to some other games. Unfortunately, this game is very resource intensive. And now we move on to the next enemy. These guys are able to go invisible, which is very annoying. But if you have a flame hammer, you can take care of them pretty quickly.
Light 'em up. These are some fire kicks.
So they're not too bad, but they can get pretty annoying if you don't have a gadget or a weapon to deal with them. Sometimes they just don't want to be hit.
Much easier than the waiter. I'll have my enemy well done.
So I'm just going to leave all those guys to burn while I take care of these two right here.
For me. Turning up the heat. Extremely flammable boots. I like it.
I like it too, Aaron. I like it too.
Once again, the curious trader. Oh, all right, it's time for me to come clean. I created the mysterious chess keeper. Yeah, it was me. The narrator handbook says one.
Yeah. Those things.
So here we get into what is the goal
I get motion
of
sick.
this last area, which is to take out these collectors,
We're the last ones standing.
which infect the land and damage all the air, plants. So you're going to see me switching through weapons a lot here. Just trying to make sure that I don't waste my gadget when I don't need to. Okay. Thank you, game. This game, unfortunately, does have very strange aim.
Stalker ahead. Oh,
So what I can do now is I can activate one of my drones, and then I can attack it.
smashed it good. They lit
I can
up
take
like
those
a
two guys out at
forest
once. And then now we can go ahead and destroy
fire. That was fun.
this guy right here. And then grab the red brick.
So you've really been looking for...
Ah,
Oh, Friday night's gonna get crazy on the dance floor.
So now instead of going on this bridge, we're just going to take this little alternate route right here. And then head straight into the next level.
Don't hug any of the desert... How can anyone spend...
So this level
As
is
they
our
searched
last
the desert
cauldron
for
level.
ways to annoy Helus, Aloy and her friends came across another cauldron. Where would it lead them? Play a little more to find out.
And as the narrator said, we're just going to go ahead and go straight into it. This isn't a super long cauldron, so we're going to kind of rush through it pretty quickly.
where's the kitchen?
Just trying to get to the final battle as much fast as possible.
Wish I didn't conduct electricity. I eat machines for breakfast. That one's not getting up.
What I'm doing, especially here, is searching for any shock hammer like that. Usually they drop. And we're going to save those as much as possible, because it saves a lot of time later in this one to have a shock hammer instead of having to go back and forth to get the little shock bombs.
So many tall necks. Wonder if
Like
they'll
here,
let
for
me
example.
keep one.
I can just quickly hit that and then move on. That saves a little bit of time.
Smash!
So while it is unfortunate that we can't do that, and we sacrifice damage output just a little bit, it makes the run a lot faster, especially here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of go into the unknown, and while we do take a death there, it makes it so that we can hit these terminals here instead of having to go back and forth shuffling the shock bombs. So as you can see, we don't need to hurt this guy, so we're just going to move right along. This is a little annoying. There's a little obstacle in our way.
Let's try the same thing, but better.
And it's very annoying to get through,
Better up.
because there's not really a good way to.
Let's not talk about that.
There we go. And then we can... Oh, barely not catching that. So you can stall in the air with Aaron there. or just jump off like that. There we go. My goodness. Aaron really just wants to do what he wants to do today, huh? So here again, this is another time where we save time by getting the shock hammer. We don't have to look for any of those receptacles. We can just hit that and move on.
After the shadows of the cauldron, the desert sun was blinding. But when they regained their bearings, they realized they had taken a shortcut.
So here, we have another boss fight. So what I'm going to do, freeze him, and then I'm just going to repeat that. And as you can see, we're doing quite a lot of damage to him.
There's another of the cult's polluters.
And that speeds up that fight pretty dramatically.
Oop, oop. Looks like I'm getting.
So, Aaron,
So there's a lot happening on screen. This game has quite a large hub,
Broadheads.
Let's try the same thing.
but we can ignore most of it. And just go right along to the next level.
hey, you
How true that is. Whether it's sweet pastry treasures or long locked.
And how true that is, narrator.
sunlight is crucial. I see ya.
If it ain't broke, break it. Neat. A little air. My heart is full. Well, one of them.
As you can see, as the fights get more complex, so do the areas that you can fight in. That's not great for us because the enemies can spread out a lot. And especially with Aaron, it's better to have them very clumped together.
You know that ancient donut?
Our heroes felt the
So here we move on to the next Tallneck route.
unmistakable sign of a Tallneck. Now it was
Now I'm here.
This is the last Tallneck in the game.
Try and keep up. That was
And unfortunately, this game makes you do that a lot. Just kind of fall off the edge whenever you don't want to.
and gone. That should keep my eyes peeled for another. Let's not talk about that.
And again, movement in this game is very strange. So, it's really annoying for speedrunners.
I see.
Makes it pretty difficult for us to have good movement every time. Do a little zigzag right there. And move into the next room.
There! A challenger enters the rift!
Gonna hop right up
goes
here
nothing.
and keep on moving.
I see you, heathen!
With a single goal: the destruction of the natural world. It's all about the community spirit.
It's you.
So I'm just gonna wait under this until that builds, and then
I'd
move
like to
straight
dedicate
ahead.
that landing to my dear friend, Gravity.
So you can see we're here pretty well ahead of the tall neck, so we'll wait for the big guy to catch up. Then we can jump on his head and grab that gold brick.
Hey. Me. I'm getting restless here, but in a good way.
Still can't put my finger on what those metal flowers do.
You know, these polluters.
So we're back to trying to destroy the polluters.
Back on the ground.
So we're gonna hop right on down and get into it.
Bricks. I eat machines for breakfast. One of those souped-up machines. Gotta whack those lights.
So I'm gonna take up this barrel guy, toss him into these guys as best as I can.
Glad that goop's gone. Smashed it good. Nothing but rubble.
Grab that flame hammer and move on.
New toys!
So these elemental drones are nice. Because whenever I activate one, I can just run into whatever I want to go, and it will pretty much instantly die. They're pretty powerful. So I'm just going to go through taking care of all these guys while I try to move myself to a more central location.
Hey, buddy. Welcome to the team. You're done. And... Waiter, I'll have my enemy well done. That one's not getting up. Boom.
There we have a sawtooth right there, but we took him out pretty easily.
Scanners indicate one of Helis.
And then we're good to move on.
Metal flower. Perfect for romancing a forge smith.
Oh.
Hey, Silence.
Aha! We're wind in my beard. Shattered. Ah, bet you felt that. Bye-bye now. This healer's... Oh! This one's yours. Should make aiming a...
There he is. I was wondering where that guy went. He snuck around me. The bad thing about those invisible guys is you can lose track of them sometimes. Just happens. So if you're not always scanning with your focus, you may not know exactly where they are at all times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear that corruption right there. And that will deal damage to everything in this area.
One of those, get it while it's down. That lit him up. You're done.
Helis polluter ahead. The last
And that's the last Perudo that we're going to attack.
Ooh, Helis is gonna be.
And then we're going to have a little confrontation with Helis up here.
Look around. I'll take that.
As you can see, I'm just checking the chests, making sure I have what I'd like to have for the final, or not the final battle, but it's close to the final battle. So now we have this guy.
Everyone see that?
Unfortunately for him, we're just going to take care of him pretty quickly. Alternating Gadget and Flame Hammer.
Extra spice.
And that will basically drain his health very quickly.
It's like dental floss, but explosive. The more
And these guys shouldn't be alive, but for some reason they are.
what? I don't believe it.
Oh, believe it, Helis. So in that little cutscene there, we did take care of Helis, but now we have to take care of his boss, the dreaded Shadow.
What?
So now we're going to return to the rainforest for the actual final battle.
Everybody prospers.
That angry ball of red destruction better get ready for defeat.
So this is a different kind of level.
Definitely the place, Silence.
If you want to handle my comic collection, you need to wear gloves.
It's more of like a, not exactly a boss rush, but a battle rush for sure. We're going to do a lot of battles. So you're going to see me scan a lot just to make sure I know where everything is. So I'm going to grab this.
Watch your feet.
There we go.
One of those souped-up machines. Ah, you dropped something.
Take this.
These battles, again, aren't too bad. We are on the easiest difficulty.
Hammer always wins.
And unfortunately, I did just freeze myself. Sometimes that can happen. Oh, hello.
Gadgets.
Goodbye.
Hey, buddy.
Oh. So I'm going to freeze these two guys quickly.
I never get tired of bashing machines.
And you can kind of stun lock them. Makes the fight go a little bit faster.
Everything looks so small from up here.
So here we get our next very evil boss battle. So I'm just gonna again freeze him, alternate my gadget,
Oh, dang. I like that thing. There's more where
try to kill him as fast as possible.
you're done. Oh, that's better.
And we're just gonna keep on moving, making our way through this level.
More pieces from tentacles to no-tacles. Careful! They got special gear!
And this is when Aaron's reach really comes in handy.
There go the weeds. Over here.
Making it very easy to hit a lot of the machines.
Another strange remnant from the old world.
We're close.
Well, here it is. The big climax. The point in our story when all the intricate plot threads and nuanced themes I've woven together are elegantly resolved. Well, there's a big fight, anyway.
And as the narrator put it, this is the final battle. So it's the last split of the 80% round.
Safe and sound.
And we're just gonna zoom right into it. And here's his big mech, Hades.
Dispatch heavy munitions.
So he has a lot of different attacks, a lot of different cycles. But he's not it's not too bad to beat. I'm gonna try my best not to get hit. But the goal of Hades is to destroy his little feet right there. And most of the time you can get a one cycle, but it's pretty tight timing wise. So fortunately I did miss it right there. But that's alright. You just gotta wait for him to do his little attacks again. And then we'll be able to.
My accuracy knows no bounds. The struggle makes your elimination sweeter.
So we're going to hit him.
Persistence is annoying. If I had a butt, you would be a pain in it.
So now he's going to corrupt these areas. But the nice thing about that is if we destroy this corruption, it gives us a chance to cycle him again. And you can hit him pretty far into the cycle, which is nice. So we're just going to keep hitting him with our hammer. And he's going to grow some more corruption. He didn't really learn, did he, with his first time? But that allows us to take care of Hades pretty quickly. We should need about one more cycle. And then time is going to end when I collect the final gold brick in the game. Oh, that was very close to the very end. So as you can see, we're going to take care of Hades right here. And then whenever I collect that last gold brick, that is time. So time. And that is LEGO Horizon Adventures.
GG's.
Thank you very much, yes. So if anyone's curious about the load remove time, that was a 1:24:39. I managed to pace my PC for most of the, or my personal best for most of the run. So that was a pretty good run.
Yeah, very nice run, and great to see this game being showcased, being
Yes.
less than a year old.
I'm very happy to be the first one to do it. And I want to thank Loss, of course, for creating the speedrun tutorial and holding the world record and being very, very good at this game.